Rebels! I'm Ina, and today we have two super cool musical guests joining us, LP Giobbi and Sophie Hawley-Weld. Welcome to the show! Can you kick things off by introducing yourselves?
My name is Sophie. I am half of the band Sophie Tukker, and I make music and sing and dance.
My name is LP Giobbi, and I am a producer, DJ, pianist, activist.
It's so great to have you here. Can you tell us a story of how you two met?
Yes. We met essentially because of the pants I was wearing, I kind of think was a big part of it.
Yes, it is. It's true.
Yeah.
She was wearing black leather pants with studs all down the side that she had handmade.
Yeah, I started them myself. So Sophie Tukker was booked to play my now fiance's music festival, and so they also put them on an after party, and there was supposed to be like an actual DJ playing before them, but something didn't work out, so I begged my partner. I was like, please give me the opportunity to play before them. I didn't know how to DJ though. I was in a synth sci-fi band at the time. I knew nothing about DJing, but I just thought I'll just figure it out. So I went up there and I played the worst set ever because I didn't know how to DJ.
So from my perspective, we show up to this DJ gig, and we just see this woman who's rocking these pants, but most importantly, her energy while she was DJing, it didn't even matter what she was DJing. She was just so captivating because she was so in it and so just alive in the way that the best performers are. So we were just captivated by her immediately and really wanted her to join us in any capacity possible. And so, yeah, we basically went on tour together and got to know each other in these really little wonderful ways that then grew and grew and grew and grew and just, became family.
What an amazing way to get to know someone. And now you both play music all over the world. Take us back to the beginning. How did you start playing music in the first place?
I got started when I was 12 years old, writing songs on my guitar for my book reports. The prompt was just make a book report that's kind of creative. And so I took out the guitar and I sang Fire and Rain, James Taylor, but I changed the lyrics. And that was my first song. And then basically I just started writing songs for therapy. I was moving a lot as a kid, and so I was a new girl and I had a lot of feelings, and I used the guitar and my voice as a way to figure them out and talk about them and sing about them. And I just did that forever and ever because it helped me, and it's food for my soul.
I started in second grade. Well, I went to my parents and I said I wanted piano lessons. My parents are you sure? You're kind of young for that, but I am a bulldozer and I will get what I want. And so I was very persistent, and I made a little presentation as to why I should have piano lessons. And so they started calling around some friends, and they got a recommendation for a woman named Carolyn Horn. I studied with her from second grade all the way through graduating high school. As a young girl, having somebody who outside of your parents tell you that you can do anything and that they believe in you and truly feel that, she held up this mirror that I was powerful and that I was worthy of anything that I wanted.
That's awesome. I love music too. I like to play jazz music. Sophie, you put so many different languages and cultures into your music. What is your process for writing a new song?
Yeah, I think you always have to follow the muse and follow what gets you going and gets you inspired. And so it depends on the sound. I think the sound will tell me if I feel like Portuguese fits with it, the way that Portuguese flows and the vowels and consonants of Portuguese versus the way that I can tell a story in English, which is really different. If there's a drum beat, I'll just test out some Portuguese, test out some English, see which one fits better.
That's really cool. And LP, when you have a DJ set coming up, what is your process? Do you prepare in advance, or do you wing it in the moment?
It's a lot like being in a jam band. You prepare, and then you step into the DJ booth, and you really have to be prepared to let all of that go, because your job is to read the dance floor and to see what they need and how much you can push them, and then you can open up your whole arsenal of years and years of preparation to decide the right track to play in that right moment. So I think it's all about preparing, but just really being able to let go of that at the end of the day.
That's great advice for life, too. You both perform your music in front of huge audiences. Do you ever get nervous?
It rarely happens for me anymore. Honestly, I think the only time I get really nervous is when I feel underprepared. But as soon as something's in my muscle memory, like, put me in front of however many people you want. I just love to perform. I think I definitely have transformed the nerves into just bliss.
Yeah, I cannot remember the last time I was nervous, which is so wild. I think the last time I was nervous was when I was on my first tour with Sophie Tukker. And I think to Sophie's point, it's because I had no idea what I was doing. I was so ill-prepared. You know, the gear, the technology, it was a very steep learning curve for me.
I mean, I definitely think the nerves happen when you're like at that growth point, where you're doing something really new, and you have to have that phase. Like, you can't just skip that phase in order to grow.
Speaking of pushing yourselves, you both do amazing work outside of making music too. LP, could you tell us a little bit more about your organization, Femme House?
Femme House is my nonprofit that I co-founded 5 years ago with Lauren Spalding. And Sophie and Tukker are actually on the board. And the name Femme House comes from Tukker. But what we are is we're an educational platform, 501c3, and we offer free workshops, online workshops and courses in music production and DJing. I think it's hard to be what you can't see. So through both visual representation and education, we're looking to change the statistic that only 3% of producers are women.
That sounds like a really awesome program. Do you have any advice you'd tell yourselves back when you were starting out?
I wish I had gotten more comfortable with gear and, just touching buttons and not being scared about things breaking. And I think just like getting comfortable with the technical aspects of making music at a younger age would have been, man. So if I could go back and tell little Leah something, I would hand her a computer and I'd say, start messing around with GarageBand, girl.
I would say two things that are kind of opposite, but the first one is just to agree with LP. Like, it's really helpful for me too to have technical skills, to be able to plug in the microphone and know what reverb sounds really nice on my voice and things like that, so that I can actually follow through on an idea by myself. But then the second thing that I would say is slightly more esoteric, doing the things that you can in your physical body and in your mind to put yourself in a position where you have access to the muse. Like, I think you have to have both, where you have to be sort of disciplined and technically savvy, but also like know when to sit back and sort of take care of the mind and the body and the spirit, so that when you do go to work, you're actually just not having so much resistance to the work. You're just like writing 4 songs, and that didn't happen from force. It happened from unraveling things inside.
That's so true. You have to feel your best to do your best. Last question, and it's a good one. What makes you a rebel girl?
I feel like the ways in which I'm a rebel girl are sort of daily. I'm not afraid to be myself. So as an example, I will cry anywhere if I'm feeling something. To me, that is quite rebellious, because I'm saying, I know this isn't typically the time and place that you would see strong emotion, but I feel it, and I actually am going to let myself feel it. And I think that is an act of rebellion.
I would say I'm a rebel girl because I have gone into a space historically dominated by men, dance music, and the industry at large. And I have infiltrated it, and I am working to bring as much feminine light into it as possible. I am working to ensure that anybody who comes to shows sees me up there and thinks themselves, I can do anything too.
Thank you both for sharing. It's especially nice to be a rebel with a great friend by your side. Thanks for talking with us, Sophie and LP. And thank you for watching, Rebels. Catch you next time, and stay rebel.